Bracket racing isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life.
Hello and welcome back to the Bracket Life broadcast. Brandon here, and in spirit, I have the ghost of Andrew Sturck.
Good day. We're having all sorts of fun here with the internet connection in Dufferin County, Amaranth specifically. So please enjoy this avatar picture that is one of my favorites. It's a good picture.
It is a good picture.
Circle.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. That was just a father-daughter day, right?
Oh,
Dave
so
was there too.
Well, yes. Yeah, that's how we took the picture. There was only 3 of us left at the track, so we all rotated to take the picture. So there's you won't find all 3 of us in one. It'll be me and Charlotte with Dad taking the picture, Dad and Charlotte with me taking the picture, and me and Dad with Charlotte taking the picture.
There you go.
Quite the dynamic that day.
Yeah, that's fun though. It's a good time.
Oh yeah.
So welcome back to everybody. Been about give or take a month. A lot of action going on, a lot of banquets, a lot of different things like that. So hope everybody's enjoyed those things. I had a lot of fun we did the NHRA one, the Canadian Drag Race Hall of Fame one, the National Open deal, all in the same night, and then we did Luskville. We had a good time. So
you had a lot of You're putting some miles on and grabbing all sorts of banquet dinners.
That's it. The dinners were pretty good. Happy with them. Brought the girls around. We had a lot of fun with them. Put some miles on the new van and just enjoying ourselves. So that was all good. A lot of hanging out. I can't really remember what else happened since the last time. Well, obviously we crowned a world champion since the last time we were on here. A few of them. So we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But before we officially kick off the show, I guess, or get into it, do want to start out by thanking tonight's sponsor, brand new, just announced today on Facebook official now, Ogilvy's Performance. So a new performance shop in Jasper, Smiths Falls area, just outside Ottawa, north of Kingston. Great location, if I do say so myself. Just down the road from me, so I don't have to go far to get my engines done. Yes, it's not technically across the road. It's just down the road, 2 minutes, I guess. So Ogilvy's Performance brings a 40-plus year career of Mike Ogilvy in the automotive and performance industry, along with Todd McIntyre's 30-plus years of experience, becoming one of Eastern Ontario's premier engine builders. Located in Jasper, Ontario, along with Ogilvy's Auto and Fleet Service, we are prepared and ready to serve new and existing customers. We specialize in high-performance drag race engines, but we're open to anything, right? So load her up.
Classic.
Yeah. Questions, comments, things like that, send me a message, send the page a message. You know all the contacts for Ogilvy's and everyone around. So really cool deal. Need to get involved with this part. It's been kind of a long process getting to this point, but that's all good. It all just kind of organically came together. Nobody's, I don't know, wasn't really a big plan and just kind of all happened. And the right thing kind of comes at the right time. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was really forced, so it was just cool, right? So I'm really excited to see how this all goes. Opportunity in front of you, and grab it while you can. So this is great for motorsports in Ontario, in Quebec, in Canada. This side of Canada, at least in general. Not just because obviously it's my family, my in-laws that are involved in all this stuff, and that I get to maybe do some more cool stuff with race cars and race engines. Great thing for it all to keep drag racing, performance, engine building in all senses. Doesn't just drag racing, stock car racing, whatever that may be, or hot rodding, just as you said. Just cool opportunity to keep it here. Encourage everybody, stay local, buy local, support local, and then keep that rolling. So neat opportunity. I'm excited to see where it goes. I've talked to a lot of folks already about this. And we're pretty much ready to go wide open. It's going to be quite a leap, but load it up.
timing's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Just in time for all the freshen ups for all the winter projects getting into spring. So that's awesome news and great news for everyone. Across Ontario, Eastern Ontario specifically, in Quebec.
Yep.
Right, not machine shops and engine shops in our part of the border, our side of the border. Not a thriving, growing industry.
Correct.
And great to see that you've got one opening up that's local for the folks out there.
And has lots of other stuff going on for the potential to this a long lasting thing. So,
Precisely.
yeah, cool deal. So we'll dive into the Canadian countdown quick. Not much to talk about, only really some NHRA racing. Andrew, I'll let you rip through this on the countdown, and then we will get into the main event of tonight.
Yeah, so we'll go to the Las Vegas national event. You may recognize the name, or at least Casey, who's waiting in the green room there, might. Eddie Plaizier. Super gas win at Vegas in the family car. I can let Casey kind of fill in all the details on the car itself. I think there's more history to it. But what a path he had to take through. He ended up, I think, ending 2 different title bids for people, Trevor Larson and Val Torres in the final. That pretty much sealed both championship bids for them and locking them out. So great win for him. Top alcohol funny car, Stan Sipos, Victoria, BC. Put up against many odds, had some great racers, end up being a runner-up to the Whiteleys in the final. Nathan Sitko, another one of our Western Canadian friends, made the trip down the Legends Nitro Series, went to the final. A couple big upsets for him to get there, too. That was some close racing, and he used hole shots to get there. We can jump to Division 1. We're going to head east. The very last event of the year, and if you can survive this, boy, you are tough. The Dutch Classic at Reading. It's cold, it's wet. I don't think I'm lying with anything there, but if you can survive it, you've done well. Gianni Cantucci, Eastern Ontario, Ottawa? I'm not sure where Gianni's from. Ottawa?
Yep.
Okay. Native, survived the Superstock show, and by survival, survived getting hit.
Yes.
Opponent comes over and hits his car. Not earth-shattering damage, but certainly not what you expect to have to go through on a bump and win, NASCAR style, to go to a final in Superstock, but gets the W. And then from there, let's jump to the World Finals, which was not a lot of action. Sportsman racing basically started Thursday morning, round 1 at 8:30. No time trials, qualifying for only top alcohol, top sportsman, and top dragster. And even at that, it was one session. But that ended up being a world championship locking moment for Sean Cowie when the rest of that race couldn't be completed. As top alcohol, I believe, only completed 1, maybe 2 rounds on the Thursday before they were shut down for the weekend as the rest of the event was canceled. And as a segue quietly into our guest tonight, Casey Plaizier takes the win over Aaron Steinke, both Canadians, both Alberta boys, teammates. That was Casey's path to winning the world title by, I believe, a mere 12 points, which is less than a round win when you go look up the NHRA point schedule. So huge weekend for him. What a Thursday that must have been, from the day before when they talked about doing one hit and go to that night, which I watched live on NHRA TV and was awesome to watch.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's welcome the 2025 NHRA Top Dragster World Champ, Casey Plaizier, to the broadcast. Casey, welcome. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Excellent, bud. I just love talking about race cars.
If I had some internet.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So Casey, huge year, right? Obviously, like, there's so much more to this year than just what the final in Pomona was, right? Of just holding the World Championship trophy. There's so much work that goes into this. We talked a little bit before. I said, I want to talk about this whole story, right? I want to, for everybody else to hear and just for myself to hear. I want to know, all about it. We'll start, I guess, let's start in January, I guess. And let's go through this kind of season as it is. And I'll have some questions as it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we, my dragster, it's they classified it as a fast super comp car, but even that, it's not really a fast super comp car. It's just a kind of your run of the mill, 4-link dragster. So we started in super comp. And I did pretty well in super gas back in the day, so I thought, I can go to super comp. I can hang with these guys. And I was getting thwacked everywhere I went. Had a few troubles with the car, changing some valve bodies in the transmission. Kleinweber helped me out quite a bit getting that sorted. And I just looked at, I claimed Division 7 in Super Comp, and I just looked at my Division 7 total. I finished 79th in Super Comp with 4 races, and I don't think I won a single round. So it was, but all year when I looked at my schedule, I was like, hey, I can run Division 7 Super Comp, and I can go to D6 and qualify in Top Dragster. So we'll run D6 Top Dragster, and then we'll just kind of figure out nationals as we go. So after, sucking out loud in Super Comp, we go to Boise in Top Dragster, and we won that race, but it wasn't I didn't do anything spectacular. I had a couple buys, had a couple red lights, a guy broke, and I think my only round was first round, where I really had to drive, and I was against Dylan. So this win, I'm thinking, Top Dragsters maybe where this thing needs to sit. The car's good. I was driving decent, but just didn't have to do anything spectacular.
So what, Casey, what month would that have been? Because Boise starts early, right?
That's May. Yeah, we go to Boise in May. So still no real thought of anything, but I should back up. In April, I won the Vegas Divisional in Super Street. So in my sister's car, I just ran it because it was there. So I leave Vegas thinking, okay, screw Super Comp, I'll chase the division in Super Street. And but I wasn't going to hop back into a Super Street car for a few months. So then we go to Boise and win the Top Dragster race, and it's like, well, now I got to chase both. So this carries on. We come home, bring everything back to Edmonton. Cooper must have came up. We have some of the top eliminator big bucks races in June. So Cooper came up, drove my car there. He won the one day there. So I can't remember. I think that was a 25 grander. Obviously before we all chopped it up. So he wins that. We load everything up, go tour around Banff for a bit, head to Acton, and, we win the first race of Top Dragster in Acton as well. So, we're shitting in tall cotton here. And we're just going to run the train this whole season and no one's going to beat us. And the second Acton race rolls around and we go 1 red. And this was the start of the mid struggle. We're looking around it. It's everyone's like, you're looking good. Yeah, we've won it. Anybody can come out here and win a couple races. So, the summer, which divisions, the middle of the season, and it kind of wraps us up, right? So, we go to Woodburn, where if you've never been to Woodburn, it's hot there. I mean, 140-degree track temps. It's 105 degrees outside. Your air conditioning doesn't shut off, and it's miserable there. It's absolutely miserable there. I think that weekend I just got beat. I got beat by an 80-year-old guy that was 18, dead zero, going 630s, and he's down 15 miles an hour. He just absolutely whooped me. And then the next round, he's like 200 or 300 total. It's just one of those things, you know what I mean? So yeah, we did that, went to the Seattle National, kind of struggled through there, and probably the turning point for us was we went to the Seattle Divisional, and Cooper and I were like, hey, we need to go some rounds here. That's just, we have no choice but to go rounds. And got a lot of breaks, a lot of luck. Went to the semis on the first race and the quarters on the second race. That put us, and I say this, we didn't do anything spectacular. We didn't win. We didn't run her up. We didn't make any waves. We just kind of went out there and put points up, and it put us over 400 in the division. And it's like, all right, we need to go to some nationals here, and my shit ain't qualifying anywhere. So that didn't lock up the division. excuse me, but that definitely set us up. You know, like we should win the division and set us up pretty good for the world. So that kind of closed out our summer. And then, you know, you just got to have good friends, right? So that's my boy Aaron. He pulled through for us there.
Yeah, which is really cool. So, like I said, we get a couple of big wins. We undersold the year that Cooper Chun was having in your dragster, right? Like he was killing everybody in that thing. So how does that work with, with letting Cooper drive those races? And then were you racing it as well, or were you just watching, or what was the deal like that?
So like at the top, big bucks, I gave person put that on. So I in the stages historically top quarter mile. So, car counts were pays a day. No matter 5 cars, 100 cars. So it's good, but there was apps quarter mile. Decided to go mile and no limit. So really shot their car count up. I mean, I don't know the exact amount of entries, but 100 entries. In staging lanes, just getting things. Cooper was coming up anyway, so I was like, hey, just drive this thing. So Cooper's a good kid. You know, he's a funny guy. He's unbelievable in a race car, and he's horrible at talking to girls. So which is maybe a little different than my upbringing. So we put Cooper in the race car, and once he settled in a little bit, he was awesome. You know, that Sunday, he's just, when he gets in a rhythm, he's unbelievable. He's so talented. The car is obviously good, but it's a big block 4-link dragster that goes 470s. It should be good, right?
That's right.
Yeah. When he's up here driving it, and he drove it in Vegas too, he loves that thing, right? He has his Mullis, and mine's a little newer, a little more updated, so he likes hopping in that thing any chance he can get.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hey, I get it. I was rolling the Mullis all year too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Funny how it all kind of works out with the Mullis cars, right? And everybody just jumps in them, and apparently resurgence of it just tears it up with them, but that's no problem. So we are also talking about, Vegas $1 million race winner Cooper Chun, right? So this is a cool deal and a cool kind of conversation of how you guys got to that point and kind of, I guess, I don't know, got this tight. I guess I was just kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
Before we go too far.
Yeah, it started last year. He just I've known him he's quite a bit younger than me, but I've known him over the last, few years, known his story. And he started coming around quite a bit more at the Seattle National. We obviously have a lot of mutual friends. He's out of the Northwest. That's where all my buddies are out of. So he started coming around more. And then, just like anything at the racetrack, you start having dinners, you start hanging out. Oh, we go to Vegas. He's hanging in Vegas. He comes up I fly him up for my Speedway market. So we hang out at Speedway for the week and just has a good time. And then, I typically don't bracket race a ton at home. So I said, hey, you want to come up and drive this thing? Like, the deal we had changed a few times over the course of over a few months, I'll say. But we worked a deal out, and he's better at like 8-mile bracket racing. He's better than me. He's actually probably better than me quarter mile anything racing. He's just better. So why would I not put one of the best guys in this car put one of the best guys in one of the best cars, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's just what we did,
Yeah, hard to argue with that deal. So that's cool. So we'll get back into the national race. So we go to you're heading to Dallas. Was the first race that was you were driving Aaron's car?
Yeah. So in the summer, I said to Aaron, I'm like, hey, if I do well in Seattle, we got a good shot to for sure be top 10. It was like, you have a shot at the world, but I mean, things got to go your way to win the world. So do you think, I don't want to drive your Musi car, but do you think we could do something? And he just says, he's one of the boys through and through. And he just says, hey, if one of the boys has a shot, we make it happen. That was it. Didn't know what car, didn't know what end. He's got 7 engines and 4 cars and a new one on the way. And he's like, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll have something that you'll qualify in. Okay. And we kind of left it at that. And so after we went to Seattle, him and I chat on the phone, and he's like, hey, we're going to put the TNT car together, 255 TNT car. He's like, we could put the 674 in it. We could put the 632 Driscoll in it. We could put the 781 in it. I think we put the 674 with a kit. He's like, it should go 40s. He's like, and then I'll put a kit on the Ultratech. It should go 50s. So come down to Medicine Hat, the first week in September. We do that. We worked our dicks off this weekend. It sucked. It's just like we worked on cars, we smoked cigarettes, and we thrashed every night, and we didn't get enough done. They had to thrash all week again. I had to go to work. Came back down to Medicine Hat. We went testing, and this thing was slow. We ran at NA, and it was going 470s, and it was just like, oh boy, how are we going to get this thing? How are we going to get this thing to go any sort of 6s here? So of course, there's this 5K in Saskatoon the next weekend that Braden Haru, Rich Harder, and these guys put on. They did an awesome job, absolutely awesome job putting this thing on. So I called them up. I'm like, hey guys, I need to test. They're like, well, our committee said no testing this weekend. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm coming bracket racing. So we unload this thing, change 3 more transmissions in it, change converters. We're just working on this thing. It just sucks. And I was like, should we make an NA hit? And Aaron's like, fuck that. He's like, we're spraying this thing. So my first hit off the trailer, we went 420 at $170. And nice. I've never been that fast. So I just hop in this thing. I mean, I was steering it all over. And it was just I did a bad job, but I was nervous. I'm not in my car. Never been this fast. The boys come down and pick me up. I'm just, hands are shaking. And it's fast. It is fast, right? So we ended up leaving that weekend. We actually went a few rounds, but ended up leaving that weekend. We went a 417 was the quickest. And we're like, hey, we're ready to go to Dallas. We put a kit on the Ultratech car too. And Aaron will talk about Dallas, and he'll be like, that was the most fun I had, trying to qualify. D4 has fast shit. The guys, there's tons of Pro Chargers, tons of blowers. The guys they're just fast down there. And we went down, I think we went first hit. I didn't have the power switch pulled all the way, and I didn't change the nitrous timer. So I think I clicked it to go 660. And I was like, okay, well, this is promising. We got a good shot at this. So we were in the mid 40s for that division race. And same with Nike's Ultratech. He was in the mid 40s. He wasn't very far off me. And when it came time to the national, we were like, we got to step this thing up. And so I think I went a 37. I was the last guy down. I went a 37. And the bump was 640. I think it was 642.9 or 643.9, I think it was. And Steinke's the pair in front of me, and he's outside the field. And he went 643.7 to get in. So this was it was just, I make my hit. I can't remember what I went. And I turn off, and I was like, dude, I think you got in. And he's like, what did I go? I was like, went a 43. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I heard them saying 43.7's in and 43.9 is out. And so, it's me, Cooper, our crew guy Kevin, and Aaron, and the boys are high five. It's awesome. There's nothing like it. Yeah, he was number 32. So that whole moment of that was a cool team moment for us. You just it's hard to describe that. We didn't win anything, and actually first round I let go before the tree was activated. So I've never done that in my life. I hope I never do it again. First round, I don't know if the nerves got to me or I don't know. I absolutely stepped on my dick. There's no other term than that. I let go, and I let go, hit it again, let go again, all before the top light came on. It's so embarrassing. I wish I could blame somebody. Cooper came to pick me up at the top end. I was pretty much crying against the fence. I was like, maybe I can't, maybe I don't. I used to be good as a pressure guy, and maybe I just don't have that.
Yeah.
That was so hard.
Yeah, that would be like I remember watching that because I saw your post about loading up and then the boys are rolling down, going to Dallas, gonna really put an effort in, and it's so cool because I'm thinking about this of like if I was in this situation and how much fun that would be, right?
It's awesome.
To really get into it, and the win, lose or draw situation in that. It's a great weekend, right? Like just,
right.
It didn't, the results weren't great, whatever, but you just went, you did that. That's going to be a memory like that you don't forget about that weekend, right? And then obviously the way that the year finishes, I don't know enough about NHRA points, how it all works, but so you get qualifying points, right? For that, I think, I think, and then so get in that, so that makes the difference. Right, that's like Andrew said at the start. That's 12 points separating you from being second place. So like that qualifying there makes the difference, and the effort that went in. That's I don't know. I love that stories like that.
It was it was so cool, and I talk about changing all these transmissions and converters, and literally no word of a lie. We changed 14 transmissions in 8 weeks.
That's wild.
And it was me, Kevin, Aaron. I mean, Cooper's not a super mechanical guy, so he stood there and watched most of the time. But he did. He just. But it was a lot of it was me and Kevin under there. We're changing transmissions, changing converters. I mean, we literally did 14 of them, and it was miserable.
Yes, I can imagine.
It was not fun, and we did like 6 or 7 in the TNT car. We did 3 or 4 in the Ultratech. We did 1 in Aaron's Camaro. It was just like, and it's hot in Texas, and the sun's beating on you and the pits suck, and it's just like it was an absolute battle. But you're right, the story of that is really what makes it. And that was a big hit to the ego. Like I went 370 red first round. my wife and little guy had flown home. They had a funeral to go to, so they weren't even there for this first round. So like I had nothing to come back to. I came back to the motorhome, and I was like, "Fuck!"
And I've been racing with your buddies before like that. You do that, like nobody's like giving you a hug, right? Maybe they are. Maybe your buddies are, but I'm like,
no one was ripping. I think people know.
Oh yeah, when it's hard like that, when it's a hurtful one,
right? And my highs are high and my lows are low. So like. Yeah. I was looking for the grandstands to jump off them. I was just, was, and I had a lot of buddies, Mark Simmons, Klein Weber, my dad, they all called me right away, and they're like, "Hey, it's out of the way now," and I'm not a huge pep talk guy, but those phone calls meant a lot when they're like, "Hey, the mistake's out of the way now." Like I've never done that. I've probably made 5,000 runs. I've never done that. But Steinke came over, and I felt bad. I mean, he spent $30,000-$40,000 putting this thing together, hauled it to Dallas, and I go and do that. Yeah. Like, and he came in the trailer. He's like, did you screw up? I was like, yeah, it was me. He's like, well, I feel bad for you, but I'm just letting you know, I don't care. I don't care. He's like, we had a great time here. We did what we had to do. I have no. It just doesn't matter. He's like, it matters to you, and I feel bad for you, but I don't have any negative feeling about this. We go to Vegas and we do it again. And it's like, okay, like what? So and I give people a lot of shit, so I have to take a lot of shit back. But in this moment, the majority of people stepped up and were like, hey, just you got to battle back, So that was cool,
Yeah.
So yeah, we went from there to Vegas, but my first hit in the car in Vegas, was Q1 of a national, and the previous run to that, I was 374 red. So that was a struggle, right?
Yeah.
We went 3 rounds at the Vegas National, which proved to be absolutely critical, which put us to leaving Vegas. I think it put us in 3rd in points. So we knew going to Pomona, we had to go to the finals no matter what. My wife asked me, she's like, leaving Pomona or leaving Vegas, what was your win? What do you think your win percentage of winning the world was? I was like, 10%. Just like confidence was low. We weren't doing great. And as the week went on with the forecast and the schedule change, I got to get back in my car. And after I made that first hit in my car, it was like, daddy's back here. We're sitting in a good spot here.
Yeah. So there's a couple points I can't see Andrew, so I know he's got stuff going on in the back. So I'll let him ask a question in a sec. So clarity for me. So Vegas National, what car are you in? You're in your car or Aaron's?
I'm in Aaron's car for Vegas National and Divisional.
Yes. Okay. So you did both. Did that get in there? Okay. So we'll talk about Pomona in a sec. That's like a note that I'm just reading here to make sure we hit on because this is a big day, right? So we go through all that. Do you listen to Luke Bogaki's Daily Driver podcast?
I've listened to some, but not necessarily like religiously.
Yeah. So what he did, that whole, and he does this usually every year, but that whole like last 3 weeks of the NHRA season is he'll update through that podcast all the points, and then he picks, who's got percentages, right? And he lays it out for guys that don't understand. Like I've never done the NHRA stuff, like the real, who did the National Open stuff, but that's not the same. So he lays that all out, and I'm pretty sure that he had you at like 10 or 15% chance. Now that was before with Darian Bosch still in first.
Yeah.
Right. And then obviously, so we'll talk here in a minute about Jessica Eastburn and then her, I think it was at Cecil County. I think she had like took it off and then catapulted past you because when the conversation was first up, it was just you and Darian Bosch, who looked like Darian was going to, win both top swordsman and top dragster, right? Which he's a bad dude, and was very well deserving of that. So you roll into Pomona, you're in your ride, ready again. Weather's trash, right? Everything's bad, right? So what are you thinking before the Wednesday announcement of just in around? So before that, I don't even want to talk about what the announcement is, but how do you feel about it looking forward?
When we're like Cooper and I are watching the entry list and we're like, if this thing gets under 32 cars, I'm getting back in. We call my car Jenny. We're like, hey, if this thing gets under 32 cars, we're getting back in Jenny. And Cooper was going to run my car, and I was going to run Aaron's, but if it gets under 32, Cooper, I need you dialing me again. Like, we just got to go back to what won us all these races this year. We just have to. So gets under 32. I'm feeling pretty good. We're at Disneyland on the Wednesday, and I get a call, and I miss it, and then I get a text like, hey, it's Jason Galvin from NHRA. Call me. So, okay. Call him, and he's like, hey, just letting you know, with the forecast, we're running everything tomorrow, Thursday. No qualifying runs, just roll up. I was like, okay. And I was like, how are you laddering? National points. Okay. I've been in this scenario before, but okay. And, then he's like, this announcement's going to come out online in the next 15, 20 minutes, but I'm letting anyone in the hunt for the world know. Okay, cool. Then Cooper and I get talking, and we're like, well, and like Austin Williams is messaging me, and Darian Bosch is messaging me, and he's like, hey, like if they ladder on national points, Eastburn gets a first round bye, which would put her past him.
Yep.
So I called Galvin back, and I was like, hey, have you guys thought about this? Like, it doesn't impact me because I'm already behind Bosch and Eastburn. So like, it doesn't matter to me, but like Darian would literally lose first place on a laddered bye from a car that would never qualify number one. So But you could argue she earned to be in that spot because she's the highest national point qualifier. Sure. And we just raised the question to NHRA, like, hey, is this really the right way to do this? And NHRA is like, well, when you don't get a time hit, that's how this class is laddered. It's laddered off national point. Okay. Like, again, it doesn't matter to me. I still got to go to the final no matter what. And then I get a call back probably 4 or 5 hours later, and it's like, top dragster, top sportsman, I think comp are all getting a hit.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that is the right way to do this. Or like stock and super stocks, just random pairing. And I said to them, just do random pairing. And NHRA is like, but the rule book doesn't say that. The rule book says if there's no qualifying runs, it's off national points for top sportsman and top dragster. So we can't do random pairing because the rules don't allow that. Okay. Yeah, but like NHRA was awesome about it. You know, everyone complains about them, but they are making it better. I mean, Jason Galvin called me. He called me and Jessica at the same time, said, hey, everyone's getting a hit. It's going to be one hit and go. So, you know, I'm so used to driving Steinke's car. I go up and make my hit, and I let go, and I watch the car leave on the third light, and I was like, oh, boy. I was like, I bet I'm 37 on the tree. And I'm going down the track, and I'm like, I never look at my gauges or anything. I'm like, I'm looking left, and I'm watching the RPM climb. I was like, geez, I don't know if this thing's good. And I get my time slip. We're 007, 730. I was, oh, okay, that's just... I'm just not used to this thing yet, right? Yeah. So that was the first time hit. First round, we put 4 in the box for my 007. Cooper and I are in the lane, so the weather's worse. You know, we could probably take a couple out. So we put 4 in, took 2 out, and I go perfect first round, really out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have. Didn't mean to. I don't know if I was a bit deep. I don't know. So go down there, give it a kick, and we get that first round win against Cody Weber. And then I was, you know, I do get nervous for first round all the time, but that first round win, then after that, we kind of settled into our groove there.
So this is where you stopped at a perfect time, right? So, and Andrew typed this in the chat. I can let Andrew ask this if, yeah, we'll see this. Let Andrew ask this next question.
So I love the storytelling on this, and this is where I get into the numbers. So I'm looking at this, and you're sitting through a round 1 win. In Pomona, it's you, Eastburn, I think Bosch made the trip, right?
Bosch, he wasn't. He wasn't there.
Bosch
but
didn't. Howe and Gaynor are both there, and I think all those guys have mathematical shots as well as you, because they're sitting at 488.
Right.
That's Dylan, Gaynor, Eastburn's at 577, and with a 95-point max, these are all mathematical possibilities to come around. All these cars go out round 1 and 2. Of everyone chasing it, you're the only one that survives, and now the door is wide open, right?
Yeah. The
second Eastburn doesn't turn on electricity in round 2. This is very much real, right? Same goal you got to get to. So what was that like when you're looking at, you know, these guys like, you know, and none of these guys, I mean, Dylan Howe, Gaynor, Eastburn, like great racers, clearly having years. Are you paying attention to those win lights not coming on, or are you just, I got to go to the final, it's irrelevant?
No, we go back, we go back in the motorhome after every round. We got Starlink set up and NHRA TV on the big screen, and we go back and rewatch. We want to know what they're saying about us, but we go back and watch it all. And I think round 2, I was one of the early pairs, and I had Tom Bayer, who beat me the week before. Absolutely whooped me the week before. He's like 002 and 1 above, going 610. So I knew I had to be good against him, and Bayer was going slow. I was able to get a little late drop in and turn that win light on, which was just awesome. And I come back around and get back, and I was like, did Jessica lose? Cooper's like, Jessica lost. And it was like, so we're looking at this. There's a couple cool things. We talked about the story. Both Ty Gaynor and I qualified at 7:30 with a 9. But Ty did it first, and he had more mile an hour. So he actually ended up running Steinke in round 1. So I was I was one foul away from running Steinke round one, which, we talk now, like, he's like, it would have been tough to lay down for you round one, hypothetically, right? Because, like, you still got to win all the way here. But since, in theory, we qualified one ladder spot apart, we're on opposite sides of the ladder. So when we were looking at the ladder to start the day, we're like, okay, I'm on the bottom of the final side. Steinke's on the other side, and he would run into Jessica round 3. And Aaron is a clutch guy. He is. If you want a guy in a clutch moment, that's one of your guys you want on your team. So we go back after round 2. Steinke won, so he's headed to round 3. I won. I'm headed to round 3. Jessica lost. We're like, hey, Cooper's like, you got to win the race. That's just with Jessica winning round 1. You got to win the race. It's like, okay, well, we're on to Val Torres Jr., right? We're excited, but it's like, yeah, you got to win 3 more rounds. But really, it's like you beat Val, you have a bye to the final, and maybe one of your buddies is on the other side, right? So like but this is quick. This is more like a bracket day than a normal national event. 'Cause it's on a Thursday. No pros are running. So yeah, we roll up for round 3, and this was
racing going on here, right?
Oh, to a certain degree, it absolutely was. Like it was, we'd come back, look at numbers, cool the car down. I was getting a little paranoid, like making sure stuff wasn't broken, or you leave a puke tank open, or like we're just trying to not have these mistakes. We go up for round 3, and we're Val Torres Jr., very good bracket guy, very good super comp guy. And so we're looking at his numbers. It's okay. He went 5 with an 8 to the wood last hit. He's probably should have a 6 or a 7 on the car. I'm like, okay, which is a good split for me, getting chased by a couple tenths. So we go up there, and I was like, hey, what are you dialing? He's like, I got a 705. And Cooper and I just like, we're in the stage lanes. I was like, okay. And I was like, and I went up 1 or 2. I can't remember. I think I just went up 1. And I was like, do we have some to work with here, right? And he kept 5 on the board, and I think he went a 708 to the wood. So I was able to go down there and give it a couple kicks. And, now we're sitting with a bye run to the final. And, Andrew, this is where you'll like the story. So we roll up for the semifinals. There's 3 of us left. I have the bye. Steinke has to run Mo Trujillo. And so they're like, Casey, you want to go first or second? I was like, I'll go second. And, this whole time back to pits, we assume Steinke's going to win the round. So it's like, hey, Casey, you're just going to go up, take the green, back out. I was like, oh, well, I'll still get ready. We'll put a 734 on the car just anyway. And then, they fire up, and Steinke and Mo do their burnouts, and I roll in kind of behind Steinke and shut my car off, and Cooper's sitting right beside me. And I can hear Galvin talking. And he's like, these guys are great friends. They're teammates. Casey wants Aaron to win, and Eastburn definitely wants Mo to win. And I'm listening to all this as like Cooper's sitting here beside me, and my heart's pounding. Like it's absolutely pounding. I'm under the not arch, but I'm in the burnout box of Pomona. Big tower behind you. I'm listening to all this. Like, this is a championship round. This is a critical championship round. Cooper's sitting beside me. Steinke leaves. I'm like, oh, he's good. And he looks so far out on Mo, and they're both dialed in the 40s. And I'm like, he's so far out there. I was like, kick this thing a couple times. And he's like 2 and 1 above for the win. And, we're like fist pumping in the car. My arm restraints are on. And Kevin Dalglish, he's Aaron's crew guy. He's fist pumping, and Cooper looks at me, and I was like, not to tell too much of the story, but it's like, are we going to be world champs? Like, are we going to be world champs here? So we take the green. These are moments that you'll never forget. I take the green, back out, kind of drive down the return road back to my pits, park, take helmets off, take my jacket off. And Steinke and I were kind of parked. Trailers were back to back with a roadway in the middle. And I get to the back of my trailer, and I'm like, "Are we world champs here?" And just I don't want to say with tears in our eyes, we're hugging in the middle of this roadway, but it was, you talk about a story and a moment, and him and I get to run in the final. For me to win a world championship is, like Cooper said, in 20 years, we'll be looking back on that and be like, do you remember that? And it's like, yeah, I'll never forget that forever. It was just, it's an unbelievable moment. Absolutely unbelievable moment.
I'll let Andrew start before I take off.
Yeah, that's a crazy moment when you describe it like that. Because how often, I mean, from that round 2 on, at this point, it's all in your hands until essentially that semifinal, where all of a sudden now, whatever win light comes on in that final round doesn't mean the end of, but could certainly mean, the end of the world championship chase, right? Unbelievable moment, right? And the way you describe that, that's crazy. And what an event, like when it comes down to it, like just how it unfolded. Again, one foul away from, now having to be on the wrong side of the ladder for, I won't say wrong side, but the side that doesn't create such an amazing story, right? And unbelievable. But like when you follow it through, I mean, there was just, it's amazing what only a couple round wins. When you talk about the start of this season, right, where you lucked. I mean, I guess self-proclaimed lucked into a bit of a round win at the start of the year, right, where you win one round and the rest of them kind of fall in place. But at the end of the year, you earn a couple round wins that put you in a position to now not have to go out there and be spectacular, but you were spectacular to get the opportunity. And it's funny how it bookends the year for you when you describe, we lucked into the start, and then at the end we earned everything to be in the lucky spot, right? An unbelievable spot, and then everything in the middle that you had to do to get there, and the power, the workload, as you say, like these are some of the stories that no one gets, right? Where it's like we changed 14 converters, 3 transmissions, burnt ourselves 1,000 times, and the stories behind the path to the championship, right? Everyone sees the drive down the return road, heading towards the big podium with the world championship trophy sitting on it, right? You climbing the stairs. I watched that moment from my house, but no one necessarily hears or gets to hear about the days, months of toiling to get to this point, right? And it's just an incredible story.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That is true. Like it's, I say like it was, and Aaron even this week, or I think we were both back last week, and I get a text. It's like work sucks. We're world champs, right? And that's literally like, and he's like, how cool is that story? Like how cool is, and a lot of people don't know what it took to get there, and people don't have to know. It's cool. I get to share the story with you guys and with whoever's listening, but it's like the story of we had luck. Even the Seattle, you go back to luck, Seattle divisional first round, guy breaks a lifter, and so he didn't even make the call. Second round, the guy's brake caliper fell off after the burnout. Like these things that just, if someone says, what's it take to win a world championship? It's like, well, you got to drive pretty good. Your car has to be good and not break. And you can't really make mistakes. And you need people, when they make mistakes, it needs to be against you. And that's like, but that all has to happen in 1 year. And only in these select races if you make a mistake, someone needs to make a bigger mistake. And it's as much luck as it is, skill or, attrition or whatever you want to call it. But like, you need a lot of things to go right that you're not in control of.
Well, and one of my favorite sayings, I know we used the word luck here sorry, Brandon, I realized the
You're all good. You're all good.
Luck is, one of those positions where, it's my favorite saying, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. Right. Back to what you're saying. If you don't got a hot rod that can survive, or the access to like what you did, where you've got a fast hot rod to go down and get into races with Aaron's machines, but opportunity strikes. If you're not prepared to seize it, it ain't lucky now. It's just another day. And that certainly was, I think, a good story there. Where when you talk about the luck you had, it really was you were prepared to go to battle, and when you had the opportunity, you seized it. And that's the story of a lot of championships, and I think a lot of big wins, and Cooper would back that up, I imagine, when you look at the $1 million win for him, right? Like, much more of a one-day deal, but that's the path to a lot of big wins, right? Yours just have to be spread out over the months and months and months, right? As we talk about this.
Yeah.
It's so neat. Talking about Cooper, right, and you now. That's a cool crew just to hang out with, right? So on one hand, we got over there. Oh yeah, that dude, he's won the Vegas Million. Not a big deal. Oh well, who's his buddy there? Oh yeah, his buddy's just the top dragster NHRA world champ, right? Like, whatever. Just a couple of guys being dudes, right? Whatever. It's so neat. Honestly, like when you're telling me about the day and how that end is. And your time, like the water box time, right? Round 4 on the buy. I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps like sitting here.
Yeah.
And then when I was doing this, or I'm just checking it, right? It's like I got a, whatever, 1-month-old baby, I guess, at that point in time at the house. So I'm not watching this, but I'm checking my phone every chance I get, right? Because I know what's going on. I'm paying attention to this stuff.
Right.
And then I see the results there, and I see Aaron puts the wind light on. So I'm just looking at it. So he is 002 taking 57 down there, turning that wind light on, So like he gets that wind light. I see that. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, Casey's won. It's over. Right. And I'm like, this is so cool. And there's a lot, we'll talk about it because it is what it is. There's a lot of people and stuff on Facebook that you see and, accusations necessarily, I guess, a little bit about Jessica getting there, Eastburn, of how getting to that point and whether it's right. I don't know any of these people. I just see stuff on Facebook, and then everybody's got, if you're the champ and you're the winner, right, everybody's got to bring you down, right?
Yeah.
Or gonna have whatever going on. So then, you get comments about that, and I'm following through because I want to know all this stuff, and I want to know what's going on. And then I'm like, then we get comments about you and Aaron in the final, right? I'm like, there's no chance. There's no chance that that car breaks, you know what I'm saying? But like, that's just how it is, right? You guys earned that. Like, there is nothing that changes anything that went on there. You earned that, and then both of you looking at that. Aaron was a little shaky round 1. Missed her a touch round 1. But other than that, like both of you drove really well all day.
I appreciate that, and that's it's like the keyboard warriors here, assuming if we ran, I'd lose. So, did you see how I was driving? I not to be arrogant here, but like that was the best That's the best had driven That's the best I've driven in a decade. So like, sure, I would have ran Aaron. I mean, but let's say we did run and he beat me. Everyone would then say, you guys are a bunch of morons.
Exactly, right?
You just traveled together for the last 4 months, spent $50,000 doing this, putting transmissions and valve springs and new, like, you bought 3 extra transmissions, new shocks, new converters. For him to beat you? You guys are morons.
In the final for the world.
Yeah, like, people would say you guys are idiots. Who would do that? So, and like I would do it for my buddy. If it's one of my buddies there, if it's a team car, if it's a family member, every single person is doing it. Yeah, absolutely every. I mean, and when I get to the banquet in, I think they call it Pachanga north of San Diego for the NHRA banquet. One of the first guys I run into is Darren. And he had been texting me throughout the day. He's like, "Hey, you're driving like a world champ." He's like, "I want you to win this thing." He's like, "I'll gladly wear the number 3 if you win this thing." And his dad, who's quite active on Facebook as well, he says to me, he's like, "We do. I've laid down to Darian too." He's like, "At the beginning of the year, we don't, but if it was to win the world, I'm doing the same thing." That's just and it happened at that D1 race, and people are mad at Jessica. Why? That they brought a team car and the team car laid down for them. Now there's I think other cars broke, which maybe made the story look worse,
right? For sure.
Which people can do whatever they want, and they very well could have broken. I actually have no idea. It sounds like some of these were actually legitimate, which is great. And they had a team car that didn't show up. Well, so did I, and so did Darian. So like these are just things things that I passed Darian on my bye run in the semis. That's when I passed him. So the one person that I beat when Aaron's car broke was Jessica. Yes. But she had a free round earlier in the year too. So there's no real valid argument, and anybody that says they wouldn't do this for their teammate or family member or buddy is lying.
Yeah,
is absolutely lying. This isn't your local bracket race for $250.
That's it.
This is an NHRA World Championship that we chased as a team. So
yeah, I had this conversation with Mike, my father-in-law, and because same thing, right? Where we show up now, we have 5 dragsters, and we all run. I'm like, and I'd love to do some NHRA or IHRA shit with Mike, and I'm like, we had this conversation. Just I'm telling him the story about the whole deal, and I'm like, what happens? You and me, we roll down there, and we're in Pomona. I win or you win. That's the world. If not, then okay, one of us gets number 2, and the other one's, I don't know, 30th, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like what are we talking about, man? Like it's not a question, right? You got earned like I said, round 1, it's a different deal, right? Correct. So either way, that final round, and it's so cool. I talked about this with the Luskville points and the 19 events that kind of counted to that whole deal. That I'm like, we did a 19 event series, and I'm like, it comes down to 2 guys and 1 round between the 2 of us.
Right.
And then it then different scale, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but then this NHRA race with, I don't know how many NHRA races that are contested each year, right? But it's a massive number, and then you can collect points at. I'm like, the fact that it comes down to you 2, 12 points between, you've been running with Aaron for however long, for the whole year, and then it like the work that goes in to be you and Aaron in that final is just ridiculous, man. And yeah, that whole deal, I love that, the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
that's wicked.
It was.
I'm a bit of an advocate of the just all the haters that they're talking about it, like you're talking with other people. Just tell if someone goes out in any one of these other ones and wins one more round somewhere else, none of this matters.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, and I say that from the standpoint of having been in championships, not necessarily like I've kind of been the lone wolf points chaser, not really had a team around me in my years of running points. Seen what was maybe a round where, yeah, like a teammate laid down for another one. Honestly, my job just go out there and turn on more win lights.
Correct.
Like, you know,
correct.
That's just from the other side of the standpoint of, okay, I think that might have been a gimme, whatever. My job is to go on tournament. If I can't do that, the rest is irrelevant anyway. So, you know, from the flip side, someone go out and turn on one more win light in Norwalk, or go out and do it, you know, like anywhere else, right? And this is a different conversation, right? So, you know, these are the things in the world, right?
Yeah, I think it's neat.
Exactly it.
And when you look at the, you know, not to keep beating this dead horse, but round 2, right? Jessica Eastburn is 002, and then is behind 3,000 at the finish line, right? Like that's your season. Yeah. That's what putting number 1 or number 2 on the side of your race car is 3,000 in round 2, right? Yeah. Like it's the whole thing. I've never got into NHRA stuff. Just the opportunity wasn't there, whatever. And I'm like, it's stories like this that's like why I want to do this. I want to race in rounds that matter, and like on the biggest stage there is. I want it to matter. Right,
and it's you know my wife was nervous that day. My wife loves going racing. She's not nervous on like. She's like, oh, if it's just a race, like we'll just go to a different race. It just doesn't matter. And I'm like first round, I got bubble guts, no matter what race it is. And this Thursday, like she's nervous. She's like, you know, there's a lot on the line here. You know, we battle all year for this, and you know, a lot of people, you know, you get the NHRA haters out there, and it's like, oh, you're chasing points, and it's like, yeah, I am, because like at the end of the day, these things mean that it means something. Like you win this world championship. They come in your motor. Like I had all these people coming by, good friends, big names coming by in my motorhome that Thursday night. Galvin comes by. He's like, this is where you go and get your tuxedo. Here's where your hotel rooms are at the Pechanga Resort. Here, like, and me and the boys and you know, my little guy and wife came too. And we're getting fitted for tuxes, and we're picking up, I want this color and I want that color, and like these memories that you have with these guys, it's never mind putting the number one on the car, like, and then you dive into the actual banquet of it, and it's like who you won the world with is a brotherhood, and it's like, you know, we're all standing there. They do a cool thing after the banquet where all the champions go in a separate room, and I was like, you know, it feels like we should cut our hands and we're blood brothers, you know, like, and you know, it's like a brotherhood. You can't even describe it, because it's like, and here I got, you know, Justin Lamb on this side, I got Sean Cowie over here, and it's like these are just moments that are truly unbelievable, right?
Yeah, no, that's wicked. I love the whole thing. I want to talk about that. I know, like, whatever, we're at an hour, doesn't matter. We got to talk about the NHRA banquet and what that whole weekend was like after you finished, right? So you guys, you win the world Thursday night and sit in the rain for the next 4 days, 3 days, right? Yeah. And then go to the banquet Monday, right? Which obviously looked like a wicked time, right?
It's awesome.
So like that experience is second to none, I would imagine, right? How they all did that up. So give me a quick rundown of the hanging out for that week or that 4 days, and then, you know, touch on the banquet a little more.
Yeah. So like we win Thursday, and you know, everybody's coming by and the boys are stoked, and it's not like we were partying or anything. Just like it was pouring rain too. And so my wife books us an appointment to get our tuxes done the next day at Carducci's. Funny guy that fits you for your tux. You know, Steinke's a bit of an edgy guy, right? And so he wants a bit of a wilder tux, and so he puts a jacket on. It's blue checkered, and he's got this pink pocket square and bow tie, and the guy comes up to his ear and whispers in his ear, he goes, "You want to get crazy, motherfucker?" And there's, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. What are we doing here? So like these stories that, you know, like these stories, it's so much more than the actual racing of. So, you know, we do that Friday. My wife Celeste and Shelby, they go dress shopping on Saturday. So they're bombing through LA doing dress shopping. I'm just watching these charges roll in on my credit card, which was awesome. And like we did nothing. Like Saturday, it poured rain. We did nothing. So then Sunday rolls around. We load up the rest of our shit and head down to the resort. And it's like Pachanga or Pachanga, whatever you say. It's like a big Vegas style resort. Park the rigs there, and we gamble a bit. Go have steak dinners, and keep in mind, I've lived in a motorhome for 3 weeks at this point. So like we get real showers, and then we get ready for this banquet. And I wrote my speech that morning, and I think what's a little wild is, you know, the Lucas Oil banquet's first. So, and it's just Lucas Oil. So, but when you think about it, they did factory stock, the alcohol classes, then the sportsman classes. There's 10 winners, and each team brings like 4 or 5 people. So like when you like the division banquets are bigger, or the Lustville banquet's probably big. Like there's only 50 people in this banquet, and maybe like 5 or 6 NHRA people. So like you walk in this banquet, it's like, oh, this isn't like this. They do a great job, and it's very nice, but it's not like you're not in front of 300 or 400 people. It's like there's 50 people there. Yeah. But you know, I wrote my speech that morning, and you know, then I'll say the new NHRA, and like Galvin's a big part of this. They do an awesome job of making the sportsman guy feel good. You know, the trophies are cool, the medals are cool. You get jacket, ring. They just like they really do a good job of making you feel like you did something, right? So we do this Lucas Oil banquet, and you know, we do our Blood Brothers thing after, which is pretty sweet, and then it rolls right into the Mission Foods, like the pro banquet, and everybody's dressed up, and they got a red carpet, and they got the photo backdrops, and you have your table, like you're kind of at the back, right? But this is a massive banquet, big production. They get all the sportsman guys like right in the middle of the banquet to walk down the red carpet. It's like, you know, this is Justin Lamb, 6-time world champion. This is Sean Cowie. This is Bubba Link. And then so like you just feel you feel like you're the biggest deal in the world. And in our drag racing world, it's one of the biggest things you can do.
Sure.
It absolutely is, right? So I'm very fortunate that I was lucky enough for it to happen. So like I said, it was never on my goals or dreams or bucket list, because it's just it sometimes doesn't seem achievable when you look at the luck you have to have to get there, right?
Yeah.
And there's people that are probably more deserving of it than me, or there's tons of better drivers than me. Brad Plaird's a prime example. He's to me, like, I idolize that guy growing up because he could hop in anybody's car and win. He's unbelievable, and like he's finished probably second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth in the world, and never number one. And here I am, who he'd beat me 9 out of 10 times, and I have a 1. It's very fortunate and just a lot of luck to get to that point.
Yeah, no, I love it. I remember watching. We were in Bristol at the National, watching him go like 620s, and like Brad Plurd going, and he's down there wearing somebody out, and he's got the butterflies are going in that blower dry. Like, bad dude, love it. What's 2026 look like on the racetrack? You thought of it? You look at defending NHRA World Championship, or what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I would love to.
Hard to predict, right? That's a big step.
I think the odds of it are quite low. I definitely don't want to go back to Super Comp, So, but I don't want to get rid of my car either. My car is unbelievable. So, Aaron already sold the motor out of that TNT car. So, and his plan all along was to sell that car, his TNT car. So, it's for sale as well. So, and I've missed about 6 calls from him this week. So, I'm sure he's got some other plan. But we're gonna chase TD again. So we'll start in Pomona. We've kind of made a little bit of a schedule so far. I need to work a little bit and top the bank account back up. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time doing that, and start in Pomona, chase the division, and throw in a few nationals. Be a little smarter about where I pick my nationals, so I don't have to go 6:30 to get in.
Correct.
And there are those nationals that exist. Having the gold card obviously helps out, and if you're a world champ, you can enter even if the race is full for forever. So that's kind of a nice perk that maybe I don't have to chase as many divisionals. But I mean, I love drag racing. I love going to divisionals.
What's that?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we'll do some big buck stuff up here in Edmonton, and chase Division 6 and see if we can put together another. I'll say the goal would be a top 10 national finish. If I could go 1 and keep a single digit on there, I'd feel pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Before we do exit off, I want you to hit me with some Speedway market info. Talk about that. You got, obviously, drag racing is not just a summer sport for you. You got the Speedway market kind of covers all bases of motorsports, right? But let's talk about that for people that have no idea what this might be, or that you're involved in it while running.
All right. Yeah, I love Speedway market is a bit of a passion project for me. It's we started a couple years ago as a mini Canadian, very, very mini Canadian PRI. So it's a lot more local, like let's say a local motorsports show. So started a couple years ago. I just wanted something cool in the winter for all kinds of motorsports to get together, and we raise money for charity through attendee admission. We have great sponsors that help us out. The Edmonton Racetrack, DC Signs, those guys stepped up big time, and they're both back for our 3rd year here. So it is January 31st, 2026, just a 1-day. I call it a motorsports and power sports show. Just a very cool. It's like a hangout where 1,200 people who all love racing come to this thing. And once the show is done, Bob Eberts and Trent Michaud, they sponsor, and the CCHRA, they sponsor a 5K practice street tournament. So that's kind of a fun deal just to cap off the show. We get, like I said, we get 1,200 people together in January. It's -40 out, and people get to check out some race cars and, you know, some cool local shops or paint shops or engine shops, local fabricators. You know, we have a lot of good supporters that come to this thing. So yeah, it's we're first year we raised $7,500 for the Stollery Children's Hospital. Last year we raised $8,600 for kids with cancer. So the goal this year is to get over 10,000 raised, which would be a huge accomplishment. So it's just one of those fun events. Bring all the racing guys together. We got a cool little kid zone. Just really a fun event to kind of kick off winter as an early start to the race season, let's say.
Yeah, no, I love it. I can't wait until you and I bring something like that out here. Right,
yeah, absolutely.
Before. Maybe we'll see. Right, maybe we'll talk a little more about this idea. But
yeah, that sounds great.
Andrew, you got anything to finish off with, Casey?
Just appreciate you coming on the show. This is an awesome background to the story. To hear all this, I followed the last half of the year when I heard you were in the contention of winning the championship with a few other Canadians hanging in there with stuff. Really appreciate you coming on and just giving us the play-by-play of many months of dedication and passion towards running for this amazing world title.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys listening to my story. I'm a talker, so listening to me ramble on here, but the story's cool, so I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, no, I love it. Casey, before I do leave, I do want to share one Chrome tab. There we go. I want to share this photo for everybody that is hanging out that does get to watch this. I found this picture on Facebook. Obviously, you, Celeste, your little guy there. Like, that's wicked. That's cool. I don't know if he's in the middle of a yawn or if he is yelling.
He's screaming. He's loud.
I was going to say, he's jacked up. And he doesn't understand this yet. Like, I'm sure, right? He's too young for that. But he's going to grow up and, like, this is a huge deal. And that's, that picture's really cool. Yeah. It means a lot. Like, obviously, we talk about having kids and, like, to do this as a family and to have that moment, that's got to be so cool, man. So, that's awesome.
It's I said actually to my wife today, I was like, he's going to grow up and, he's big into cars and bikes and everything right now. He's only 2.5, but he loves going racing, loves being at the racetrack, but he's going to grow up and be like, I was 2 when you won this thing. Why couldn't I have been 10 when I could have known what was going on? Like, he knows, and he loves Wallies. Like, he loves picking up Wallies, right? So he knows, but he doesn't really know. So I said to her, I was like, it's going to be funny because he's going to be, why couldn't you have won this when I was 10 and I actually got to remember this,
Yeah, no, that's wicked. And who knows? Maybe you win it again when he's 10.
Hey, maybe it only took 36 years to win it the first time, so who knows?
Once you get the first one out of the way, right? I've heard it's way easy.
Yeah,
it's something
I'm
like
sure
that.
It is.
Yeah. But all right, bud, I appreciate your time. A lot of fun doing this. Like I said, really cool story. This is how I wanted the show to go, right? I wanted to share the year and people to understand how much it means and how much the whole year. I don't know, it takes everything. It takes a full team of buddies. It's not a professional team, right? We're not all crew guys. We don't all have matching shirts. Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you can get some now.
We got some matching T-shirts, but they're pretty questionable.
Yeah. But it's so cool when buddies come together and accomplish something like that, and really neat deal. So no, good for you, man. Love it. Hope you get to really celebrate and that people really celebrate you and what it means. And can't wait to see what happens next year, bud.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon, Casey. Have a good one, brother.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
Bye. Andrew, wicked episode. Awesome. A lot of fun. We will see what the next few dates are for the Bracket Life broadcast. We're going to stick with the once a month for at least for the winter months, maybe into the spring. we'll go from there. And yeah,
Yep.
so we will officially announce what's going on kind of as it all goes, but lots of cool stuff happening. Spencer Hyde, obviously NHRA Rookie of the Year, Pro Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
We got some different cool guests that we might potentially have on. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff happening.
Yeah, it should be good. Looking forward to it. Maybe knock out a couple more of those mini podcasts
Yep.
like we did on the first one. I thought that was well received. But again, folks out there can give us the feedback and let us know if you liked it, because I sure as hell love hearing the sound of my own voice, so I don't mind talking some more. But
That's it.
either way, no, looking forward to it. Once a month deal will be fantastic. Get a little more depth to it and get a co-host coming on here.
We do have a
Another
co-host coming on because somebody doesn't like going to
There we
sleep
go.
without Dad. But yes,
Oh, no.
yes, that's all right.
Well, I guess that means we should be wrapping it up here. Then.
Exactly.
We got important deadline.
Can you wave bye? Wave bye-bye?
Say bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. All right, thank you guys for all hanging out and watching, and we will talk to you all soon.
Have a good one.
Bracket racing isn't just what we do, it's who we are. It's how we identify ourselves.
What does bracket racing mean to me? It's my life. It's where my people are. My idols, my family, my friends.
Bracket racing is life. Bracket life.